Hello and welcome to Money Matters. My name is Busi Mbokazi and today we're discussing retirement planning. Mr. Gregory Mufema is joining us today in studio. Mr. Gregory, hello.
Hello, thank you.
How are you?
I'm well, and you?
Very well, thank you. We're discussing a very touchy topic today, retirement.
Yes.
What is retirement?
I see when we talk of retirement, everyone is working and life looks normal. But there will come a time whereby you can no longer work.
Yes.
So you still need to spend, but you're not able to get that money. So retirement is that stage where you're no longer making or getting that income, but you still need to spend. Some people, it could be partial retirement, maybe you have a part-time job or you're doing much less, but for most of us, you'll be completely retired. So there's no more money coming in, but you still need to spend. So that's the time, maybe you're 60 years around there, you have retired now, but you still need income.
So how do we plan then for our retirement? I mean, we know of things called retirement annuities and provident fund and pension funds. What does all of this mean and how do we then plan for our retirement?
When you're looking at retirement, obviously the obvious is you want to know what you're going to be doing when you retire.
Yes.
Maybe you want to travel, there are places you want to visit, etc.
Definitely.
But all that needs money.
Yes.
So you ask yourself, how much money do I need when I retire? So those retirement annuities, they'll be able to give you maybe a constant income. But how do you put money there such that you have got your income that you require at retirement?
Okay.
So basically that is what you need to plan for in retirement.
So how much I determine how much do I need? Is it based on my needs now? Is there a way to calculate how much my money will be worth? Is that even a phrase? How much will my money be worth the future?
It is. Because there's inflation, 1,000 rands today won't be the same as 1,000 rands in 20 years' time.
Okay.
So with inflation, your money is worth less.
Okay.
So there are many ways of saying how much you need, because even today, how much do you need to survive for a month? It's different.
It's different.
Some can survive on 1,000 rands, some 10,000, some 100,000. So when you're looking at retirement, all that has changed is you're no longer working.
Okay.
So we need you to relate what you need with what you're earning before retirement.
Okay.
There are people who can come up with a lump sum amount to say maybe I need 3 million rands, I need 1 million rands, I need 10 million rands. As long as you know how you have arrived at that lump sum. Of course, you can use the other two methods to arrive at that lump sum. Then there are also, you look at a multiple of your annual salary.
Okay.
If you are working, you know your annual salary is going to be increasing with inflation and salary increases every year.
Yes.
So you can say by the time I retire, I need 12 times my annual salary.
12 times my annual salary?
Yes.
My gross or my net? Does it even matter?
Well, it really depends on what are the deductions you're talking about from the gross to the net. But effectively, you will still need 12 times your net to spend in retirement. That will be for you to retire comfortably. Yeah, comfortably. I know very few people are able to make it. Maybe 7 times can still be good. And then also the other method is you look at your...
Sorry, just not to cut you off, but before we get on to the second method. So you've said on average we require 12 times our annual salary. 7 times
at best.
So that's the best standard. And you're saying on average South Africans are doing how much? Are South Africans ready for retirement?
I can't say exactly how much, but they are not ready. In 2014, the government made a survey, and you know what they said? Only 6% of South Africans are ready for retirement. So this is the reality. 6%. On average, on every 100, only 6 are ready. So the reality is probably the 6% are the ones who are able to make it 12 times or something close to. So generally, South Africans are not ready for retirement. We know retirement is coming, but when it comes, we are not ready.
Okay, so you've told us we can do a lump sum.
Yes.
Or we can do then this aggregation of being 12 times or 7 times or whatever it is that we can afford to do of our annual salary. What is the third?
The third one is you're looking at your income.
Okay.
Because we're used to working with a constant income. So you want your pension the amount of money you get in retirement to be linked to the amount of money you're getting just before retirement. So we're using ratio. It's called net replacement ratio.
Okay.
So the pension in the year following your retirement divided by the salary in the year just before retirement.
Okay.
So if you were earning 100 rands, you get for every 100 rands another 100 rands, that's 100%. If you get 70 rands, it's 70%. So a net replacement ratio of about 70 to 80% will be fine.
So that's what we should be aiming for when we're looking at retiring.
If you can get a pension that is about 70% or 80% of your salary, you will be able to
retire comfortably.
Comfortably, yes.
These numbers are a little bit scary, and I guess it begs the question then, how do we begin to start the planning? So you've given us these three methods. Maybe let's start with the first one, the lump sum target. How does one begin to start planning for lump sum target retirement?
Yes. Because if you have got your target, let's say it's 3 million rands. I would like to save 3 million rands in retirement. So you look at your age and how many years you have to save towards that 3 million.
Okay.
Yes, I've got some tables. We'll put them on the screen. If, for example, I was saving 1,000 rands per month.
Yes.
And I do it for 20 years.
Yes.
And then that money gets interest of 5% per annum.
Yes.
I'll be having 406,000.
After 20 years?
After 20 years. After 40 years, I'll be getting 1.4 million.
Okay.
But if I take the same 1,000 rands, because you know there's inflation, you can't be paying 1,000 rands always.
Yes.
You need to increase it. If you were to increase it with 5% as well,
okay.
After 20 years, it's 620,000.
Okay.
After 40 years, it's 3.2 million. So you're looking at a simple 1,000 rands per month. After 40 years, you already have 3.2 million.
So when are you exactly looking to make those increases? So if you say, if I'm making 1,000 rand per month, are you saying annually I increase my 1,000 rand contribution by 5%?
Yes, that's correct.
And then that is when I start getting the yield of slightly higher, being 620,000 rand.
Yes, that's
correct. As
correct.
opposed to 406 rand at a flat
Yes, that's
rate.
correct. Because you'll be getting salary increases. So actually your income is increasing. So you can also save more.
So your recommendation would be whatever we're putting aside financially, we should be adjusting that either with inflation or higher annually, correct. So that the payout or what we're looking forward to in terms of the lump sum target is slightly higher than what we have anticipated.
Yes, that's correct. You need to be able to be putting more money, and also you need consistency in saving.
Yes.
You can't be putting money now and then after some time you say, no, I've got other needs, so I'm not putting money. You need to be putting your money consistently, because check 20 years and 40 years, the difference is 620,000 and 3.2 million. So this one who's only putting for 20 years is much less than if you had been putting for 40 years. And then also the other part that comes when we change jobs. You see, I've been working for company A, I've saved money for retirement, then I move to company B. I may have the option to take my money as cash, but I've saved that money for retirement.
Yes.
Keep it for retirement. So when you change jobs, just keep your money for retirement, and then.
Are you able to transfer your money from employer A to employer B?
Yes, yeah.
The law allows you to be able to do that.
Yes, that's correct. You can just put in your lump sum, and then it will be growing as well in that pension fund.
So then you've got the multiple of salary targets. So how does that then work?
The multiple salary target, like I said, if you could get like 12 times your annual salary.
Oh yes, this is the heavy one.
Yes, but I know it's not easy.
Yes.
So I've just we can work with a table whereby at age 65, you are targeting 7 times your annual salary. So you can say maybe at age 40, you have saved twice your annual salary. Okay. So the next time you get your statement, your benefit statement, just check how much you have. Is it in line? By the age of 45, you saved 3 times, 54 times. Every 5 years, you add 1 multiple. So by the time you reach 65, you have saved 7 times.
And you're saying 7 times your annual salary generally is quite comfortable for retirement? Generally.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. We are saying by the time you reach retirement, there are other expenses you won't be having. Maybe there's no
Yes.
more mortgage.
Or
you're
there's
not
no
paying,
car.
Yes, no school fees.
Of
course,
course.
medical aid could be higher.
Yes.
But so you should be able to survive with a lower salary or with a lower income than your salary. So that's why we are now saying even 7 times you may still be able to survive.
So how does one then plan for retirement with immediate needs? And I know this is obviously going to be tied into a much bigger conversation I'm looking forward to having with you. But in the immediate, how does one plan for retirement whilst they have immediate needs? You've already spoken about consistency. Yes. And you've shown in terms of the tables how consistency is directly linked to the benefits that you see. So for example, if you take it back to that 1,000 Rand per month, we increase it by inflation. We see a direct link there in how we can actually see, or we can multiply the value that we'll have at retirement. What happens if I've got other needs, immediate needs?
You see, when your salary comes or your income comes, you need to save. Maybe you are saving for emergency.
Okay.
You need to pay bills.
Yes.
Take your retirement savings as an expense.
Okay.
So when you're saying school fees is so much, also say retirement saving is so much.
Okay.
It's a reality, it's a need.
Yes.
If you think I'm going to put aside retirement money as an afterthought, you may not be able to put anything. So make it a need to say, look, I owe retirement so much every month. It's not easy, but you need it. The good thing is that money is not lost.
Yes.
You will still be able to access it when you need it most.
I think that might be a good time for us to take a break. We'll be back right after this. Hello and welcome back to Money Matters. We're discussing retirement today, and Mr. Gregory Mufema has been taking us through what exactly we need to do to be able to prepare for our retirement. So Mr. Mufema, just before the break, we were having a discussion about how it is that we should make our retirement savings a part of our expenses, our monthly expenses in our home. Let's expand on that. There are a lot of issues that affect Black households around the country, around the continent, around the world. We look after beyond just ourselves. We look after our extended families. We adopt members of our extended families. We take children to school when our parents have passed away. We look after grandparents. I think the term has been coined in South Africa as being black tax. How does black tax impact our ability to be able to plan and to save for our retirements?
Okay, black tax is a reality.
Yes.
It does reduce our disposable income, but not just for retirement. It affects everything else within our lives. So we shouldn't say retirement is the one that is affected the most. The way you would squeeze here and there, try and reduce expenditure, we just need to do it across the board and still be able to save. Also, when you come to that, the good thing about it is we're taking care of the young ones, we're taking care of the elderly as well.
Yes.
If that was a reality and it continued forever, you may not even need to be saving so much, because by the time you retire, your children or your grandchildren will be able to take care of you. But the unfortunate reality is things are changing.
Yeah.
Our generation may be able to take care of the elderly and the young ones, but we cannot be guaranteed that by the time we retire, they will do the same. So as much as I'm taking care of the family, I still need to put aside some money for retirement.
So I have black tax, I have immediate needs, the economy is going haywire, and maybe I have not started saving for my retirement. What can I now start doing?
If you haven't started,
start today.
You still need to start. You need to start now.
Okay.
You need to start now. You need now to see what is realistic. If you're starting late, maybe you can't afford the 12 times or the 100% or the 80% net replacement ratio. You look at something lower, something realistic that you are targeting. And then also be consistent. I know if you've not been doing it, it's going to be difficult, but you can start And also you can talk to a financial advisor. Sit with someone, explain your situation, explain your income and what you expect, what you need, and then you'll be able to get something that is tailor-made for you. But the reality is we need to start now. I know the government does provide retirement benefits for those who don't have, but really you can't plan for the government. It won't be enough.
There is also a reality, I guess, in South Africa. Many might have not started because there's no employment. I think our employment rates are around 36% of unemployment in South Africa, and that's youth unemployment rates. I think the youth unemployment specifically then goes much higher than that. What then do they do? Because at some point they need money to be taken care of. So someone who has not started working, who has not become employed, what are their options, and how do they go about providing for tomorrow when they can barely provide for today?
Yeah, even if someone is not employed, I know it's difficult, but they still spend.
Yes.
So one way or another, they have got some income that they spend. So if there's a way of living within your means, I know it's difficult to plan for tomorrow when today is still tough.
It might
but tomorrow may be even worse now if you don't plan for it. So one way or another, it doesn't matter how much income you have, you can still set aside some money for retirement.
So no matter what you're earning, if someone is giving you money, even if someone is giving you a little bit of money to make it through the day, put some aside for tomorrow.
Yes, that's correct.
And that's basically what you're saying. Because you're right. Someone who is unemployed still manages to get money for data for the phone. And so you're saying even of that, they must be able to put something aside.
Yes, if you look long term, that's what you need to do. Otherwise, if you don't do it, by the time you reach retirement, you are in the same situation and probably even worse off, because when you are younger, you can still do this or that and get some money. But the reality is retirement time is coming. Those who have died, it's unfortunate they don't reach retirement age, but also they don't get to suffer those needs. So we have to start thinking about retirement and saving something for retirement.
Can I then say that maybe there is a requirement for selfishness? Are we allowed to say selfishness in the context of Christianity and discussing this within the realm of God and all of His grace and His wonder and His glory? But is there not then a need for selfishness in the planning of retirement? Because if every cent, for example, of mine is then allocated to my black tax or my unemployed family members or looking after very urgent and real needs for today, would I not then be required to employ a modicum of selfishness so that I can ensure that I have a retirement to look forward to?
Yeah, I wouldn't call it being selfish.
Okay.
It's just being realistic. As much as you help other people, you still need to spend money on yourself. So we're saying as you spend on yourself, set aside some money for retirement. So yes, whether we say you're being selfish but yes, you need to do that. I can't just be spending for other people and there's nothing for me, because there's no guarantee that by the time I reach retirement, there'll be someone else to look after me. That's the challenge that we are having. Some of us, people reach retirement, they've got property, you have houses.
Yes.
You give your houses to your children, but the children are not taking care of you. You need to reach a compromise somewhere, somehow, to say, okay, what I've worked for needs to take care of me. So yes, you need an element to think about yourself in the future as well.
Okay. We've spoken about what we need to do and how we go about planning. What does God say about how we go about our retirement planning?
You see, when you look at the Bible, there isn't much about retirement. Okay, let me go to one example. You remember Pharaoh's dream?
Yes.
Joseph came and interpreted. He said there are going to be 7 years of plenty.
Yes.
And 7 years of hunger.
Yes.
So during the 7 years of plenty, please set aside some money for the 7 years of hunger. When they did that, they were able to survive, to go through the years of hunger. So basically that is probably
That's
the best we can use for retirement. I know in Numbers chapter 6, they are saying the Levites, they need to retire at the age of 50. They need to take lighter work. So that is also retirement. But what we are really concerned about right now is, do you have income and can you save? So yes, the Bible requires us that we should be planning. You can't start building a house and you don't know whether you are going to finish. So yes, we need to plan.
It seems as though there's a lot that is required from us as Christians, especially when it comes to us and our money. We're expected to tithe, we must offer offerings, we must now also plan. And you've given us very good examples of how it is that we need to plan for tomorrow, and that we can't be stuck in the idealism of today or even in the struggles of today. So it's not always idealism being clothes and shoes and cars and the nice things, but it's also the reality of school and food and necessities that the family may need. So how would you propose that one does go about changing their lifestyle or augmenting their budget so as to provide for this requirement?
My suggestion is, each family or each individual, you need to sit down, think about retirement, say, what do you need? What are your goals? I know every month you can look at your budget and you spend according to your budget, but ask yourself, if by God's grace I reach retirement age, how am I going to survive? How much money do I need? What is my goal? When you have that goal, you can then now start working towards it. We've given 3 different methods that you can use to work towards that goal. And then every month, try and do something and make projections. Look back and see, am I achieving my goals? Do I need external assistance? Do I need someone to talk to who can help me? Am I able to do it myself? So that by the time you retire, it's not a shock. You know, there are people who you think life is normal, and then all of a sudden you realize there's no money. And there are people who, when they retire, you get your money as a lump sum.
Yes.
They get excited, they go spend that money. Within a year or 2, that lump sum is finished. Then the reality kicks in now to say, oh, I don't have money. You start, you say, I'm old, so I can ask for money. Yes, you can, but it was better if you had planned.
Yes.
So let's think about it. Let's write down our goals. Let's work towards them and see how we can achieve those goals.
You've spoken about talking to a professional, and I guess this would look like a financial advisor or someone like that.
Yes, that's correct.
Can you take us through what questions should we be asking of them? I mean, apart from the fact that we want to save for retirement, and you've given us these 3 very good options, and just to go through them again, it's the target, this lump sum target.
Yes.
It is the annual salary.
Yes.
So you either multiples of that annual salary, or it's then the net
replacement ratio.
Net replacement ratio,
Yes.
which basically matches your existing monthly earnings with, well, before retirement,
Yes.
with those post-retirement. What questions do I ask of a financial advisor when I go and sit down with them and say, I want to start planning for my tomorrow? And also, maybe if you could touch on the difference between a retirement annuity and a pension plan or a provident plan.
Okay.
Do I get all 3? Do I only get one? What works?
Okay, there's much you can do. When you talk to a financial advisor, they are now looking at you as an individual.
Yes.
What is realistic about you? Because now we're just talking, we haven't specified what is retirement age.
Yes.
A footballer can retire at age 35.
Yes.
Some people retire at 60, 65, 70. So the financial advisor looks at your situation and says, according to you, maybe your current age, what you are able, this is what you're going to do, yeah? Maybe the financial advisor can even advise you to retire later. To say, is it possible that you can defer your retirement, yeah? And then they look at what will be your life expectancy at retirement. If you're going to buy a retirement annuity is basically, at retirement, you can put your lump sum, maybe I put 3 million.
Okay.
When I put 3 million, I'm going to get that 3 million as a monthly pension. So I've purchased an annuity, which means I'm going to get income until I die.
Okay.
Yes. So if you die earlier, you get it for a shorter period. If you die later, you get it for longer. That's insurance. Some of them it's guaranteed.
Yes.
Or you can invest it yourself. You can say, I'm capable, I want to invest, but also remember, when you get to retirement, you are not as sharp as you used to be. So the financial advisor should be able to help you. And then we talked about the pension fund and the provident fund. Yeah, way back the difference was the pension fund provides a pension in retirement.
Okay.
And the provident fund will provide a lump sum in retirement.
Yes.
But now those two
almost the same.
Yes, they're coming back together. So sometimes people use them interchangeably. Yes.
Okay.
But the whole idea is those are schemes and plans that the employer can assist you to save towards retirement.
Okay.
The employer can say you put in 5%, the employer puts in another 5%, and then nowadays we have cost to company. So everything is within your salary. But they are simply helping you to save towards retirement. I know members are given options whether to save or not to save, and the easiest is not to save. You say, no, I'm not going to put any money towards my provident fund because I need the money now.
Yes.
But our advice is save, because now I can set aside some money because I have income. I can just cut expenses for here and there and then set aside some funds for retirement. But the truth is, some of us, we are not thinking way into the future.
Mr. Mufema, thank you. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for the pearls of wisdom that you've left us with. I think we've been given a lot to think about, and I think there's a lot that we need to start doing actively in our lives and re-looking at our budgets in terms of how we can provide for our tomorrow. We've been given examples in the Bible of how that's been done, and I think that it's very practical for us to re-look exactly where it is that we want to be in the future, especially based on where we are today. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you next time.